All right, guys, let's continue with the next part. We have some more new concept to be discussed on the Ansible, right? So today's guys, again, there's a few more basic concepts that we require. So if you want to do any kind of configuration, right, it is up to you what exactly you would like to configure, right, with the help of Ansible. Okay. So and now I believe you know that if you want to configure something, you should know about that particular technology, right? Ansible only help you to automate the thing with the intelligence. Okay. But if you don't know anything about your respective technology, right, or if you don't know what exactly your requirement is, I can say step by step requirement, right, and none of the automation tool or none of the intelligence tool gonna help you. Okay. But yeah, Ansible is giving you the extra benefit. That's the different point, that without knowing the command or by using the declarative approach, or I can say to declare something, it will do lots of things for you, right? That's always the great benefit we always get from the Ansible, right? So today's plan, guys, there's multiple topics we are going to discuss today. One of the topic would be how to use variables in the Ansible. Very small topic, but very useful topic sometime we gonna discuss. Then there's a concept called factors, very important topic again. Okay, it will give you actually the idea, more idea about why and how Ansible detect your operating system name, right? Or I told you Ansible automatically go and find out about your operating system, that you are using Red Hat or you're using Ubuntu, and they automatically detect their respective commands, right? So facts is one of the way through which Ansible use behind the scene to know about your operating system. Okay. Plus some more small topics we have to be discussed. But before guys start these topic, how to use the variables or how to use facts on the Ansible, let me set some scenario, what that scenario we are going to solve today. Okay. So what exactly we are going to do today, and in this use case, the use case that I'm going to implement today automatically cover the topic called variables or facts, plus some more topics it will cover for us, right? And again, today's topic would be the continuation of the yesterday one. Okay, yesterday guys, we have configured one playbook for the web server. Okay, that has some yum configuration, something else, right? But today's topic plus yesterday topics combined together help to build tomorrow topic. And tomorrow would be very important topic where we are going to create our own, or I can say configure our own load balancer, or I can say reverse proxy with the help of Ansible. Very interesting topic. Lots, almost all the organization and almost all the deployments or all the real application, reverse proxy and the load balancer is the one thing we always use, right? But I'll show you tomorrow how to deploy the load balancer or the reverse proxy with the help of Ansible. Plus, I will consider that you guys are new in the load balancer or the reverse proxy. So first, I will explain you tomorrow what exactly the load balancer or the reverse proxy. Then we will start implementing those things. But it is only possible if you understand today's and the yesterday topic. Okay. So today's plan is I would like to do some kind of use case today. Okay, very small is use case, but it will give you some more new concept about the Ansible. Okay, so what exactly we are going to do today? So you guys, you know about Apache Web Server, right? We have implemented Apache Web Server multiple times. So if you want to implement the Apache Web Server, then if you're using Red Hat, then you have to use a software called HTTPD. Okay, and the guy who has created this software HTTPD has put internally that if you want to use HTTPD as a software, then you have to put all of your web pages, okay, inside the folder called where www.html. So the guy who has created this software has put inside the software that if you want to put any web pages, then web pages would be reside inside this folder only. Otherwise, I won't able to read it. Okay, And so it means if you want to copy any web pages, that's called deploy any web pages. You have to copy all the deploy web pages inside this folder. And typically, according to Apache Web Server, this folder is known as document root. Okay, so I can say the by default document root for the Apache Web Server, right, for this particular software is where WHTML. Okay, so this is one of the by default setting given by the Apache software or Apache HTTPD software. Second thing is if you configure Apache Web Server, so by default Apache Web Server work on port number 80. So this is by default port number. So if you don't do any changes, so web server will work on the port number 80. Okay. So what's about today's plan? So what today's plan is, right, to change the port number of the Apache web server. And second, my plan for today is to change the document root of the Apache web server. Okay. And that's what we can do with the manual thing also. But I'm going to show you how to do this thing with the help of Ansible. So we are going to do today, we are going to change the document root of the Apache web server to something else, plus the port number. And one thing you guys know, if you want to change any by default setting about any server, maybe Apache web server or Mail server or LDAP server, and whatever server you know, you will know, right? So if you want to change anything about any server, right, any of the operating system, normally you have to update those settings inside the configuration file of those servers. So Apache server has their own configuration file. So you have to go to those file and update there and say Apache server that I would like to change your port number. Let's say I would like to change the port number from 80 to 8080. Or I would like to change the your document root, let's say from where WHTML to where www Linux world. Okay, so anything you want to change about any web server or any server, you should know their respective configuration file. You have to go inside the config file or config file and update those settings there. Okay, so again, you can go to manual or you can use Ansible, and Ansible will go to your configuration file and update those settings for us. Okay, so I believe you got the idea what exactly we are going to do today, right? Today, one small use case that we are going to solve is how to go inside the configuration file of the Apache web server and change this document root, okay, or change the port number. That's what we one of our today's plan. And why for implementing those things, right, lots of Ansible basics or other concepts we have to cover today. So by the end of the day, multiple concepts will be covered, plus this part is to be implemented. And tomorrow the same topic we will enhance by adding one more extra server on the top of Apache web server, that is called load balancer. What exactly the need of this, we will discuss that part tomorrow. Okay, so right now I have one Ansible controller node already running. So let me log in with my controller node, and this is one of my target node. Let me log in with my target node, and let me pick the IP of my target node, that is 174. So today's I want 174 will become my target node, or I can say the managed node. And I want this system to be configured as Apache web server. And that's what we know, guys, how to configure Apache web server. But today I want my Apache web server to be customized. Okay, I don't want to go for by default setting like port number 80 or document root HTML, right? I want to customize my web server. And whenever you guys want to customize, I told you, you have to go inside the config files. Okay. So, so for going inside the config file, I don't want to use the command line. I would like to use Ansible, and Ansible, I would like to use the Ansible playbook to do the things, right? So what exactly I'm going to do today, I'm going to use the same file that we used yesterday. Okay, and this is the file that will help me to configure Apache web server. So guys, this is a file, guys, we have already configured yesterday. So I will add something in this file to customize our web server. Okay, but before this, let me update my inventory. So today my inventory is only 174. So 174 is my inventory. And when very quickly, I always recommend to check the connectivity. Okay, so this is my controller node, and from the controller node, right, we would like to configure this guy. And yesterday, guys, we already configured, right? But today's my plan is to do some kind of customization, right? But before I do the customization, let me very quickly run the same playbook, whatever we have run yesterday. Okay, so what this playbook will do, it will first uh, uh, mount your DVD. Okay, so that if we can configure yum, then yeah, they are configuring the yum for us. And after this, they are installing Apache web server. Then they are creating some kind of web pages, and then they start the services, and plus then they start the firewall. And because my web server right now working on port number 80. Okay, why port number 80 is a by default nature, right? So it is by default. Whenever guys you configure normally any web server, they by default normally work on port number 80. And how I know? Very simple. I can go to your target node, and there's one command you guys might know. The command is netstat-tnlp. And if you search for web server port number, you can see by default web server is working on the port number 80. Okay, and second thing is because this is a web server, so web server by default work on, by default we have to put our web pages inside this folder. Okay, so these are two default setting we have that we have to change, and there's a very lot of guys requirements. A lot of time we have this kind of requirement that whatever server we are configured, maybe web server, mail server, we have to change the default settings. Okay, so let's start doing this thing. So first of all, guys, my requirement is to change this folder plus change the port number. And I told you guys multiple time, if you want to do any changes, okay, either manual or either with the automation, you should know the steps. You should know the steps. Okay, and because today's my requirements change the folder from where.html to where maybe let's say xyz, let's say Linux world. Okay, so this is one of the change I would like to do. And what I want to do, I would like to change my document root. And second, I would like to change my port number, let's say from 80 to 8080. So there's two requirement. And if you want to change these two things, okay, obviously Ansible doesn't know, right? What you want to change. You to tell the Ansible that Ansible, I want to change these two things. Okay, so Ansible will do this two changes for you, but Ansible doesn't know where you to change, where we have to change. So you have to tell the Ansible your path of your configuration file of the Apache web server. So anybody who know about Apache web server, I think I share my videos to you. So if you guys go through my videos, you guys know where the config file of the Apache located. Okay, so technically, if you want to change anything in the Apache web server, there's a lot of way. One of the way would be this is the one of the folder where Ansible keep their configuration files. Okay, so you have to go to this folder called etc httpd So this is the configuration directory of the Apache web server. And if you want to change something on the Apache web server, then you have to create some file here. File name would be anything. It is a random file name, right? For example, let's say Linux old one, but extension should be conf only. Otherwise, it won't able to read. Okay, guys. So guys, this is the Apache web server, and the file that I'm going to create here will work as a configuration file for the Apache web server. Okay, so guys, what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to show you first manually how to do some changes on the Apache web server. Because if you don't know how to do changes manually, right, it would be very harder sometime to write the automation script. Okay, so for example, if you want to set up some Hadoop cluster or Spark cluster or something cloud or maybe Docker, if you don't know their respective concepts, or if you don't know their respective internal file name or keywords, right, working on the automation script would sometime very harder. So right now I'm just trying to show you, if you want to configure Apache web server or want to change or customize Apache web server, how to change and where to change. So just go to this folder, open this file. Okay, and here we have to write some kind of keyword. Okay, so anybody who know by chance about Apache web server, so this is the keyword we have to write. You have to write virtual host. Okay, then then before the virtual host, you have to write a keyword called listen. And listen is one of the keyword from the Apache web server. Okay, and after listen, you have to type the port number. So by default, guys, Apache Web Server work on the port number 80. But if you want to change the port number, then you can write here and change here. It means now you are going to tell your Apache Web Server and say, now I would like to work on the port number 8080. Okay, then the virtual host is one of the keyword of Apache Web Server. Okay, guys, this is for Apache Web Server, right? If you have a mail server or or maybe database server, they will have their own keywords. These are the keyword from Apache Web Server. Okay, so then you have to write a virtual host start, a virtual host close, and between this you have to write a keyword called document root. And by default document root is, if you write or don't write, is variable HTML. Okay, so if you write this line or if you don't write this line, it's called by default. So by default document root is variable HTML. But today's my plan is to change the document root, and that is www.lw. That's all. So if you write this line and save this file, okay, so technically I'm here in this folder. So in this folder, if you create any file with the extend.conf, that file work as a configuration file for the Apache web server. Guys, there is nothing about Ansible here. I'm purely talking about the Apache web server. Okay, now because you change something in the conf file, and guys, this is a simple rule. If you change anything in the conf file, you have to start the services. And after you start the services, okay, then now from onwards, right, for the Apache, right now after this, sorry, after you start this program of the, or restart the program of the Apache web server, and after this, right, Apache web server work on the port number 8080, and any of the web pages that you want to copy or you want to run or you want to deploy, you have to copy over here. Okay, so technically what I'm trying to tell you here is, right, if you want to change either manually, or I'm going to change right now in a minute with the help of Ansible. In any of the cases, if you don't know the the location of your configuration directory, if you don't know what is the kind of extension we have to use in the file name, and what are keywords we have to use of the respective server, none of the automation tool or intelligence tool gonna help you. Okay, so Ansible is a tool who help you to automatically, okay, to automatically detect the commands. Okay, so for the Ansible, you don't have to know the cat command, or for the Ansible, you don't know how you don't have to know how to create this file. Or in the Ansible, you don't have to know how to use the yum command or mkdir command. So they will automatically detect the respective command of the OS. But Ansible never help you normally to automatically detect which internal keyword of the respective server we have to use, because server to server the keyword change. Even though there's some way we have in the Ansible, there's concepts called role, very advanced concept we will discuss in the future. Role is one of the advanced concept in the Ansible that we will discuss in the upcoming class, that will help you. So if you tell the Ansible that Ansible, I want to change the port number, that's all. So in their example, you will see, even though you don't know the keyword, it will automatically help you. Okay, there's a different point, but it won't work for all the servers. There's a limited servers they support. So in my advanced class of Ansible, I will discuss there how to use that particular concept, right? But I believe you got the high level idea. So what's my plan today? My plan today is to configure IP 174, okay, as a web server. But today I would like to customize the web server. And this customization I would like to do with the help of Ansible, with the help of Ansible. And obviously with the by writing the playbook. That's what we would like to do. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, the file that I created right now, let me remove this file. I just wanted to show you just a high level demo. Okay, just let me remove this file. I don't want to use this file. I want this file inside this folder to be created automatically by the help of Ansible. So final goal is I want my web server to be work on port number 8080. And for second goal is I want my web server, right, we have to deploy the web pages in this folder. And if you guys till now, if you notice, if you go to my Ansible controller node, okay, till now we have deployed our web pages inside a folder called web.html. See here. So till now we are keep on copying our web pages inside the folder called web.html. Why this folder? Because this is the by default folder of the Apache web server. But today I would like to change this. Okay. And if you want to change this, for this, you have to update your conf file of the Apache web server. Okay. So what is the steps now? So steps is again exactly the same. Steps same, right? First, we have to mount the DVD. Second, we have to configure the YAM. Third, we have to install the softwares. Okay. Fourth, we have to copy the web pages. But before now, copy the web pages. Okay. So normally till now, where we are copying the web pages in this folder. But today my plan is change. Before this step, you have to update and web page, to the web server and say, now I will have to change my document root. And from now to the from now onwards, my document root would be this one. Or because my document root changed, so now next step would be this one. So next step would be when I copy one web pages from somewhere, maybe from GitHub or some XYZ locations, right? So before the copy the web pages, I will tell my web page that web page, you have to copy your content to this folder because my document root has been updated. Okay. And then we do the remaining part, how to start the services, all the things, and then firewall. Okay. But till now, guys, because Apache Web Server work on port number 80. So firewall, we have created a rule to allow port number 80 yesterday, right? So if you see the firewall yesterday, we allow the port number 80. But today my plan is to change the port number. Okay. So let's say over here, I will change my port number in these steps. I would have to change my port number to 8080. Because today we are changing the port number. So in my firewall, I will tell my firewall that now my port number is not 80, is 8080. So you have to allow all the traffic coming in. This called incoming traffic on a port number 8080. So depend, guys, what exactly you're changing. Accordingly, the remaining step has been changed. Okay. So step number 1 to 3, we know we already did. 6, 7, 8, we know we already did. Today we have to add 2 extra steps in between. Why we have to do these two steps in between, fourth and fifth? Because this is by requirement. I would have to customize my server. There's a lot of requirement why I have to change the server, customize, and this. So this is not the web server classes. Okay, so I'm taking this example to demonstrate some extra concept of the Ansible. Okay, but my focus area is more on the Ansible. And and I'm using this example because this is a very common example, very commonly we use in the market. Okay, but my main focus area is to show you some extra concept about the Ansible. Okay, so let's start from here. Okay, how we can change the document root or the port number. Okay, so if you want to change the document or root or the port number, I told you you have to okay, update the conf file of the Apache web server. So what you have to do over here, okay, so this is the step number 1. Creating the yum is step number 2, something like this. After they install the software, and after install the software, okay, you have to do one thing. You tell that we have one file called etc httpd, okay, conf.d and lw.conf, right? So so what I'm saying to my Ansible, that go to the target node, you will find this file. Okay, and in this file you have to copy some content. Okay, now guys, in the file, if you want to copy the content, there's multiple way. Okay, so if you want to copy the content, right, module name is copy module. But in copy module, there's two way. Either you can use source keyword, src keyword, or you can use a keyword called content. Okay, so technically from the Ansible controller node, if you want to create some file here, and inside the file you have to add some content here, okay, we have to use copy module. Now in the copy module, there's two way to copy. Either you can use the content keyword, but if you use the content keyword, you have to write all the content here. So if you use the content keyword, you have to write all the content here, whatever you have to type there. Okay, but sometimes if content is bigger in size, maybe 10 pages, 100 pages, typing all the 110 pages of content over here would take a lot of time, or maybe not so much readable if you put over there. So instead, we use content keyword. We can use SRC keyword. And good thing about SRC keyword, you have to just give the file name. Okay. So what I can do, in my Ansible controller node, in the Ansible controller node, okay, I create one local file here. Let's say my.conf. Okay, and put all the content in this file of 100 or 10, whatever the number of lines you want to update there in this file. And this file I will upload over here. So to tell the Ansible that this is the local file we have and I have to upload there, we have to we have to upload over here. There we have to use SRC keyword. So guys, both the keyword we have used already in my last examples. So I believe you guys are comfortable with these keywords. So what exactly we are going to do? I'm going to use one module or task called copy. And here I'm saying that there is the one destination file that you have to create. Sorry. Okay, you have to create. And inside this destination file, you have to copy some content from file called my.conf, for example. Okay. Or maybe say, let's say RH294. So this is the local file we have to create. And this file will update the content in this file. Okay. So let me first create this local file, linuxworld.conf. So I'm same location. I'm going to create this file, linuxworld.conf. And what I have to what I have to put here, okay, is but of us guys, because whatever content you're going to put in this file is going to upload here, and they are going to upload in the location called they're going to upload in the location called this one. And according to Apache Web Server, this is the conf file. It means whatever I want to update in the conf file, you have to write in this file. Okay, so let me write over here. So in this file, what I'm going to write here, I'm going to tell that now my Apache Web Server work on port number 88, and I will change my um, uh, document root. So there's one keyword from the Apache Web Server that's called virtual host start, virtual host close, and this is called document root. And now my document root will be www Linux what. Okay, so this is the guys local file we are going to create, but this is the exact configuration of Apache Web Server. How I know? Because by chance I know the Apache Web Server, but maybe you guys don't know. But don't worry, if you want to do configure something in your environment, maybe database server. So database server has their own file, their own keyword. So whatever keyword of the database server conf file or Hadoop conf file or any of the server conf file, whatever you want to update. So if you know, if you are belongs to some of the domain or some of the technology, you know about those concepts. Or if you don't know, you will learn, right? But after you learn those concepts or those keyword of the respect server, add in the file, and Ansible will upload there and update there. This is one thing. Okay, so let me save this file. Okay, one more thing guys, by chance in Apache Web Server, if you want to do this kind of config change Apache Web Server, you have to write the IP address and the port number also here. Okay, and this IP address is the IP address of your Apache Web Server. And right now my Apache Web Server IP is 174. Okay, so you have to manually type this IP here. We will see how to automate this IP also, but you have to manually type the IP here. So this is the actual complete configuration of the Apache Web Server. Okay, so again I'm repeating, I'm at the controller node, but from the controller node we are going to upload this file to IP 174. And why we are going to upload this file? Because this file will work as a configuration file for the Apache server that is at the IP address 174. And when the file they reach to Apache web server, okay, at that point in time, they will change the port number, plus they will change their document root. Okay, this is one small thing. Now, second thing is, guys, before you change the conf file, okay, you are asking your IP 174. Now from onward, your document root is where W Linux world. So, but this folder guys not exist there. You do for create that folder. So if you go to IP174 and try to see, this folder is not exist there. Okay, it's not exist there. So you have to create it, right? So you guys know how to create the folder. So again, you can create manually, but obviously I have to go to take the help of Ansible. So before you configure anything, you have to add one more task here and say task is file task. We discussed already yesterday, and the same task we have used yesterday. Right? File state equals to directory and path equals to some of the folder. Let me copy these lines and paste here. Okay. So I'm telling my file that we are going to create a folder or directory, and name of the directory is what? Where www Linux world. Okay. So technically, according to my steps, because you want this directory root to be changed, so you have to first create the directory. You have to first create a directory. Create directory. Which directory? This one. Because obviously, guys, if directory is not exist, how you can copy the folder or how you copy the files. Okay. So first you have to create directory. That part we have done. Okay. Second, you have to change your conf file to tell this is now from onwards, this is my document root, and now this is my port number. And how we update these two things? We update in this file, and we create this file local and upload. I'm going to upload over here. Okay. So this file we have created local, and when we run this playbook, it will upload over there. Okay. So let me guys try to run this code and let's see what happened. Okay. But what exactly we are going to expect here is, after we run the playbook, this folder to be created. Second thing, my port number 8080 will start. Right now there's no port number running 8080. It will start for us, and and website will be accessible on this particular port number. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to run my playbook. Let's see what happened. So it looked like something they are doing because orange color come in play. Okay. So let's see. This is my controller node. Let me go to my target node. And what I was expecting, we are expecting over here is this folder to be created. That's nice, is screen created. And second thing, we are also expecting that inside this particular folder, my conf file will come up. So guys, here the conf file will come up. And if I open this conf file, my content also come up. So according to Apache web server that is running on in this computer having IP174, okay, what we are seeing here, that one new conf file come up, and this conf file say that now from onwards, right, your document root name would be Linux world. Okay, and your port number to 88. Okay, but let's see, as this port number 88 is started, so you can use this command to confirm. It's not yet started. Okay, if you yet started, then it will show you the port number is running, right, or I can say in the listening mode, but it is not yet started. Why? Because it's a very common rule. Whenever you change anything in the conf file, you have to restart your web services. Okay, so right now my web service is already running. But if you change something in the conf file, you have to restart your web services. Okay, means right now if you go to your playbook, okay, in the playbook, if you go down, you can see service is a keyword we are using. And in service, what we write here, state equals to started. Started means the service keyword only see one thing. If service is running, don't restart again. So technically the started is one of the keyword here. It means they're only checking the current state. And what they're checking the service running already. Or because service is already running, so they're not restarting it. And if you don't restart the services, it won't update your conf file. So technically, what I'm trying to tell you here is, if you want to update the conf file, okay, or I can say if you update the conf file and you want your config to be in effect, then you have to restart the services. Okay, but challenge we have over here is, okay, because we have used a started keyword, and a started keyword is work with the concept called idempotence in nature. And what idempotence? Started keyword only check the service running. If it's running, they won't do anything else. They skip checking the conf file is updated or not. So that's a challenge we have. So that is the reason, guys. Instead of the restart started keyword, what we have to do here, if you go to Ansible uh, service module, service module, you'll find there's one more keyword. So instead of started, we can use a keyword called restarted. Okay. So what they will do, they will always restart your service. Okay. So instead we use started keyword, let me use the restarted. It means when you run the playbook, they always restart the services. So it means if you do some change in the conf file, if some changes there, a restart server will update those changes. That's what we want. Okay. So let me run this code again. Okay. So after this, what we are expecting over here, it will restart your services. And after survey restart, we will see our port number that was 808080. It will change to 8080. Okay, let's see. Now you can see something change on the service. And they change, maybe definitely they might have restarted the service. So now if you go and run this command again, and now this time you can see now they have updated the port number to 8080. It means it means what exactly we wanted. We want our port number to be changed, it changed. I want my document root to be changed, it changed. It means now, from if my client, let's say my window is my client, okay, try to access my site. So how to access? With protocol HTTP, IP address 174. Okay, and because, guys, by default, if you don't type anything, your client always connect on the port number 80. So if you type, if you don't type, by default they connect on the port number 80. Okay, and you can see there's still the older side. Why we see this older side we'll discuss, but today my port number will be changed to 8080. Okay, so let me see does this port is working or not. So guys, if you try to see here, this port number is still connecting. If you see in the top, they keep on waiting. They're still trying to connect on this port number, and finally you'll see they will fail. And why they fail, you guys know. They will fail because of the firewall. Okay, because yesterday, guys, we have enabled the port number 80 on the firewall, but today my port number changed. But firewall doesn't know that port number has been changed, because firewall is a different program altogether. So we have to tell my firewall, the firewall, now today's my port number has been changed. So any traffic come on this port number, I just want you please allow that particular traffic. Okay, so you can see that is they weren't able to connect because today my port number 8080, but firewall is not allowing me to connect. So what I'm going to do, simple thing, nothing very special over here. I'll go and change port number from 80 to 8080. I'm telling my firewall this, I want you change this particular port number. Okay, that's all. Okay, but one more thing, guys, we have to do, we missed here that we have to do over here. Okay, that one thing that we have to change and do over here is this one. Okay, so whenever you copy any web pages, okay, your web page always copy in your document root. So today we change the document root, but we haven't copy our web pages to the new document root. Okay, so what I mean by this, so let me see the first this one to be running. And guys, again, I'm considering that you guys are comfortable with the Apache web server. And this concept I already shared with you guys in my YouTube videos, I think before the Diwali break. So I think you guys go through those videos. And these are the concepts we discuss from very basics about every bit about what is document root, port number, and all those settings we discussed there. Today, my focus area would be more on how to automate the same thing with the Ansible. Now, guys, you can see now we can connect with the port number 88, but you can't see your web page. Why? Because because still I am uploading my web page. You see here, I'm uploading the content of my web page, okay, to the folder called web.html. But because my document will change, okay, so we have to upload the content to this folder. And let's say this is my new website, okay, because your document will change, okay. So let me run my playbook. And guys, now you can see the power of automation, right? There's maybe 1,000 steps to configuring something, okay, but you don't have to worry about other steps. Just where you want to change those steps, just go and change and again rerun the script. Okay, and that changes will keep on checking, and because of the item potence nature, okay, whenever they see anything change, they update. Otherwise, they will don't touch those things remaining part. Okay, and now if you try to check your website from the client, you can see now a new website is up. That's all. That's all right. So very straightforward. Very straightforward. If you so technically, my overall plan was actually is to show you if you want to customize some server. Okay, so it's all dependent, guys, upon environment to environment. You want to add more content in the web server, or maybe you have other kind of servers. So if you want to change the server, if you want to change something on the server, you should know the internal settings. Okay, and tell those in internal setting to Ansible. Ansible will do the remaining part for us. So this is one thing. Second thing is, guys, I just want to tell you, I would like to discuss over here is in this file, if you notice here, right, I changed my document root to where www Linux world. Okay, and the same document I use here, and same document root I use inside my file. So if you see here, inside this file, I use the same document root. Okay, so everywhere, guys, I use the same document root. Okay, obviously because document root change, right? But guys, the good practice says, okay, today's maybe your requirement is to use this particular document root where W Linux would. But maybe tomorrow, right, you would like to change the document root. For example, maybe I would like to change my document root to Rumble. Or because you change the document here, so you update also here. And if you change here, you have to update also over here. So all the locations you have to go and update that particular folder. Otherwise, it won't be effective. Because this is the conf file. Conf file is the one who will tell what is your new document root. This is the this is the file task who will create this document root for you, and this is the content task who will copy the website content over here. So technically, this playbook is good, working great, no challenge we have over here. But in this playbook, we have a small challenge. A small challenge is this playbook is very static in nature. Means, okay, in the future, if somebody want to change the document root, they have to update all the locations. They have to manually go to this task. They have to manually go to this task. They have to manually go and open this file and update the document root there. So I can say this this playbook is very much kind of static. But if you want this playbook work as a dynamic, means if you want somebody want to change the I can say change the document root name. So they don't have to go to all the 3 locations, or maybe we might have to add 10 different locations, right? We don't have to go to all the 10 or 100 locations. Just change in one location and all the locations updated. Guys, here the use of variables come in play. So what can we do? Instead, we use hard-coded name or hard-coded path or hard-coded string in all the location. We can create one variable somewhere on the top. It's something like this. So here I can write one variable called, let's say, d equals to where www, let's say jack. That's all. So D would be work like a variable, or let me use X here. Okay, so X would be work like a variable, and this would be the path of the variable. Or I can say variable value of the variable. And wherever I would like to use this path, I can just go and update there. For example, instead I use this full path, I can use variable called J. Here I can go and use the variable called J. Right? Or here, same way, I can go to this file and update the variable called J. So technically, now, okay, now when I run this playbook, they will create a folder with this name. And what this J is the variable, and the value of variable is this one. So technically, right now, I'm using this path where wjack or where linux or where html, 3 locations. Maybe with some of the config we have to add the same path, same name, same string in 100 different locations. So I want my playbook to be created in such a way that if somebody want to change something, okay, someone to change something, for example, maybe right now here I just want to mount my DVD in this folder. Or maybe in the future I would like to change my DVD folder, maybe DVD2. You have to change this folder also, then you have to change this name also, then you have to change this name also, then change this name also. So rather than change your four location, what can we do? We can put this name in one variables, and we have to update only variable name. And when you update the variable, all the location will be changed. So this makes your code a little bit more dynamic. And this concept is normally known as parameterized. So I can parameterize my values. So here the value slash DVD1 is fixed, is hard coded. Okay, so if you want to change this path, you have to change everywhere. So for example, if you go to this particular folder, this folder is what I given the example over here. Let me undo. So this folder is hard coded. So in the future, somebody want to change, they can change. But I don't want this value to be changed every locations. Okay, I want this value to be variable, or I can say parameterized. Means I have to create one variable, or I can say I would like to create a parameter for this. Okay, so how we can create the variable in the Ansible? So let me first show you that concept, then we'll come back to this file, and then we'll apply those concepts here. So let me first go out from this file. Let me create a separate file for this. First, I'm going to explain you how to create a variable in the Ansible and how we have to use. After guys become comfortable with the variables, then we come back to this file and make this file a little bit dynamic. Or I can say the right word would be make this file parameterized. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, let me create one extra file for this to explain you the concept of variables. So there's one file I'm going to create here, and let me apply this file on all the IPs. And guys, if you want to, sorry, if you know guys, in some of the languages, if you have some string and some value, if you want to print. So like if you know Python language, we have a print keyword, or like in C, we have printf keyword. Like in shell scripting, we have echo keyword. So every language has some kind of keyword to print something. Okay. Similarly, Ansible is not exactly a language, but you can think it's one kind of language you can think. So in the Ansible, if you want to print something, then we have a keyword called debug. Very commonly used keyword in the Ansible. We are going to use a lot in the future classes. Sorry. So in the Ansible, if you want to print something, then we have a keyword called debug. So let me show you how to use this. So debug is a one kind of keyword. Technically, in Ansible, every keyword is like a module. And if you want to use the module, you have to use a task. So we are going to run a one task called debug task. And debug has some kind of argument that's called message argument. And you can type the message. I can say hi, hello. So in the Ansible, guys, if you want to print some message, okay, so you have to type the message here in the front of message argument. A message argument is a part of the debug module. So now what happened when I run this playbook? They will print the message called hi, hello. Here, they will print the message called hi, hello. So in the Ansible, if you want to print any uh, string or any value, I can say, then you have to use a module or keyword called debug. Okay, but in the Ansible, if you want to create any variables, okay, so for this, there's one special keyword that you have to type on the top of the task, and with the help with the host keyword, it's called whereas keyword. So whereas is a pre-created key or keyword from the Ansible. Okay, through this keyword, it will tell the Ansible that this is the variables we are going to create. And let's say we are going to create a variable called x with a value called, let's say, hello. Okay, so that's guys, this is a way to create the variables. Same way we can create one more variable, let's say y, with the value called 5. Let's say we create one more z, let's say value called 78. So in the Ansible, if you want to create multiple variables, okay, you have to create the variables with the keyword called whereas. So technically, you can think in this way. In the playbook, okay, if you want to tell or to declare that these are the tasks, so YML, Ansible has provided a YML, a keyword called task. So in the playbook, if you want to tell these are the variables, then they have provided a keyword called whereas. Or in the playbook, you want to define that this playbook is applied to all the IPs, then we have a keyword called host. So these are the pre-created keyword provided by the Ansible to the YML so that we can declare what exactly we want. This is one thing. Similarly, there will be some more keyword come up. We'll see in the future classes whenever we need. Okay. And second thing, because we have multiple variables, so variables would be like a list. And because they are lists, you have to use with hyphen. We use hyphen. And obviously you have to follow the indentation, right? So they should become in the same indent, same space. Otherwise it will fail. So now we have three variables x, y, and z, right? With these values. And now if I want to use the x, you can use print here. You can print means debug. Let me print x. So now whenever I run this playbook, it will define three variables with these values. And because we are asking to only print one thing, that's called x. Because for printing, we have to use a debug keyword or debug module. So debug will print x for us. Let us check it will print or it won't print. Let's see. But guys, in creating a variable, it's pretty straightforward in the Ansible. But you know what they printed here? They print x here. Why? Because it is very simple rule of all the languages. Okay, if you put anything between double quotes, okay, they will, or single quote, they will treat that particular thing as a string. So Ansible is treating x is not as a variable. Ansible is treating this x as a normal string. But you tell the Ansible this is not a string, this is the variable. To tell this is the variable, right? Normally in other languages, normally we use dollar. Okay, but in the Ansible to tell this x is not a string, it is just a variable. So you have to use a special keyword here called curly braces start and curly braces end. So in the Ansible, guys, whenever you start with curly braces, double curly braces, a start and double curly braces end, okay, then Ansible will treat this x as not as normal string. They will treat x as a variable. And because now they treat x as a variable, they will go up and see does x is a variable defined here. If yes, they will get the value and put over here. After the put, they will print this as a message. Okay. So let me run this part again. Okay, now see they will print the message called hello. Okay. So technically, and guys, I can give one vocabulary here. Okay. So in the Ansible, if you want variable to be used, okay, between the double quotes, and double quote guys is known as string. So between the string, if you want to use a variable, then you have to use a curly brace start and curly braces end. This concept is called string interpolation. So every language has a different way of doing interpolation. By chance, if anybody know Python, so in the Python, if you want to use any variable, then we use a single curly braces with dot format function. So language to language, the syntax of string interpolation vary. But in the Ansible, between the string, if you want to use a variable, then here in the Ansible, we have to use double curly braces. Why double curly braces? Because Ansible behind the scene use one language that's called Jinja language. What is Jinja? In my upcoming class, maybe after 2 days, I will start the Jinja concepts. Very interesting concepts we will discuss. So this index come from Jinja. Okay, and Ansible behind the scene using Jinja language, or I can say Jinja concepts, right? We'll discuss after 2 days, 3 days, what exactly the Jinja is. Okay, so technically, this is the way to work. And because double quote string, you can write in this way also. I can say, hi, this is something format. So from here till here, yeah, if you write in this way, this is X and Y. So if you write anything between double quotes, it will treat as a literal. Literal means exactly the print. This is X and Y. But if your plan is to not to print X and Y as it is, not as it is, you want to change the value of X and you want to apply the value of Y over here, then where you want to change the apply the variable, you have to use curly brace start, curly brace close. Here also curly brace start, then one space at least, then one space at least, then curly brace close. Let's say if you buy and buy BB, something like this. Okay. So now because this is one complete string, okay, and in between this string, okay, wherever you use this curly braces, they will treat this guy as a variable. And if this variable is there, they will replace the value. If a variable is not there, they will fail, obviously. Okay. So let me show you again. Okay. So guys, so in the Ansible, if you want to create a variable, this is the way we can create the variable. And if you want to use the variable, okay, this is the way you can use the variables. Okay. Now we are going to use this concept in my main playbook. Okay. So this is one of the playbook that we was working on. Okay. And now what my plan is, okay, initially when I create this playbook, we have mounted a CD-ROM in a folder called /DVD1. Or because we have write this folder manually directly here. So I can say this is the hard-coded folder. Hard-coded means whenever anybody run this playbook, they will always mount here only. They will always mount the DVD here. Or because DVD always mount here, so in the yum, we have to always write the same location, DVD1. But maybe in some of organization or some of the server, I don't want to use this folder. Maybe this folder already exists for some other purpose. Okay, so I want I want in those some of the server, I don't want to use this particular folder to be used. Okay, so there's two way you can change. Either you can go manually update all the locations. Okay, so it's not good practice guys to after you create the code and test the code and for applying some changes somewhere you update your code. So it's not good practice. So good practice say you think in the future there might be requirement come up that you have to change these folders. So don't put the folder name here as a hard coded. Make it dynamic. Okay, how? By creating the variable. Let's create one variable, for example, variable called D or directory one, or let's say DVD dir, and let's say directory name would be DVD2 or DVD1. Okay, so DVD dir is my variable name, this value. And now you don't have to update this directory name everywhere. Instead, you use directory name. You can use the variable name. How? You guys know. So DVD dir. And guys, it's always good practice because after when you start building a bigger code or bigger environment, you will have hundreds of pages of code, and at least 2 or 3 pages of variables name you will have. Okay, so always try to give a variable name that makes sense. Don't give X or Y, something like this. Like give DVD dir or Apache web server document root. So you always try to give a bigger name that describe what exactly and why you're creating this variable. And normally always try to give the variable name something like this with underscore. Look more readable. So it look like very clear it's DVD directory, or it's a Apache web server document root, something like this. So always try to give the variable that more readable. Okay. And by chance this, if you write underscore in between in the variable, it's called snake case. Okay. And because this is the variable here, you guys know you to write between the double curly braces. Okay. So guys, so wherever you want to apply this value, just go and apply this variable name. So this make my code dynamic, or I can say this makes my code parameterized. Okay. So now wherever you have slash dvd1, okay, just go and apply this variable dvd underscore dir. That's all. And just one thing, guys, don't give space here. Don't give space here. Otherwise, your final URL would be slash dvd1, then double two space, then this one. But because there's a path, and between the path, normally we don't have the space. So notice this part here, right? So, and again here, over here also, dvd underscore dir curly braces. Between the curly braces, you can give as much as space you want. But after this line process, the final output will be slash dvd1, then slash whatever the remaining string you have. Okay, so what exactly we have done? Okay, because we might have a plan in the future to change the mount directory of my dvd. So that is then we parameterize this guy. Okay, so guys, it's all about your goal, your plan. If you think no, your plan is always to mount here, don't create a variable. That's okay. For example, if you plan in the future to or to keep on changing a document root, so don't fix here. Don't fix here. Create one variable on the top and use the variable here. And what is the benefit of the variable? Now in the future, if you want to change the document root, you don't have to go all the lines of the code. Just go and change it. Let's say 5. That's all. Change one location and update all the location here. And that is the use of the parameter, or I can say it is a use of the variables. So let me very quickly check this code. Ansible playbook over here. So this is a way how we can use the variables. Okay. So now something changed. Now you can see new folder has been creating, new location they are mounting, and other things they are doing for us. So in IP 174, if I go, okay, so you can see this is the new folder DVD 5 has been created. And this is the new location where they have mounted DVD 5. They haven't mounted here because they see the DVD is already mounted there, but technically internally you might see they have mounted. df command doesn't show you both two locations, but you can see the DVD content come up here. And if you want to see the yum file also, okay, so this file has also been updated with the DVD 5. Okay, so everything has been updated. Okay, so I think guys, you got the idea how to create the variables, plus why to use the variables. Okay, it's not always to use variable everywhere. If you think some of the part will keep on changing, okay, so rather than, guys, it's always good practice. After you create the task, after play the complete playbook, always try to create a code in such a way. It's good practice in the terms of management also. Okay, it's good practice. Don't try to change the code again in the future. If you think your code will be tested, now working good, okay, so don't try to change the code, because there's sometime you might miss by mistake and write some extra keyword or wrong keyword, extra space come up. So entire keyword or entire code, it was working fine for us, but due to some changes, it might fail. So these to solve that challenge means if you think you want to change something in the code, but because of by editing the code, I don't want my code to fail. So that particular part that you think you will have to keep on changing, you have to put it in, you have to put in the variables. Okay, and one more interesting thing is we can also we can put the variable in other files also. Okay, rather than we put the variable in this file, we can put the variables in other files. So we don't have to come to this file. So technically what I'm trying to tell you here is, okay, it is always good practice after you create the code, let's go playbook, and after you tested the playbook, okay, it is always good practice. Don't try to open this file and don't try to update this file because it's already been tested. And this is my final setup. Again, this is setup we are going to update in all the servers. Okay. But maybe there might be something that you have to keep on changing, like port number maybe. Okay. So that part you put in this variable, and don't create this variable also in this file. You can create this variable in some other files. Okay. And we can keep on updating those files. How? So in the Ansible, if you try to find out in the Google how we can create a variable, in other files. Okay. So you can find some keyword. Okay. It's called include wheres. Okay. To to create the variables in other files. Okay. So we will discuss, guys, in upcoming classes how to create the variables in other file and how to include. So in my upcoming classes, there's some examples come up. We will discuss there how uh, to create the variables from the other files and include from there. That makes more great way to manage the things. Okay, this is one thing. So we'll take this topic, very small topic, but we'll take this topic afterwards. One more thing I just want to tell you here is, right now, whenever I run this code, this folder is fixed. This folder is fixed. But if you think you want to change this folder, again open the file, change this folder, again run the code, a new folder will come up. Okay, new folder they will create, a new folder they will mount on the on your CD-ROM. Okay, but if you think every time when you run the code, every time you have to change the folder or the port number or some other part of the code or the value, okay, what can you do? Right, in those scenario, you can create a variable with the prompt option. What I mean by prompt? Prompt means whenever I run my code, here they ask me, now tell me this time what is your new port number, or now tell me this time what is your new folder name. Okay, so if you think some part is always change, normally always change, so you can set the variable with the option called prompt. Okay, so what I mean by prompt, let me show you with the demo. Okay, so if you again you search in the Google that Ansible, do you have any option in the variable so that we can prompt? Okay, so prompt is a way to interactive way to give the input. So here Ansible provide you option called where prompts. Okay, so let me use let me try to show you how to use this. So instead of where, we can use a keyword called where prompt. Where prompt, this one we use. And what it will do for you in the where prompt. Okay, let me comment this line. Okay, in the where prompt, what can we do? Here we have to just define your variable name. Okay, so my variable name is what? DVD underscore dir. Okay, this is my variable name. And to tell this is the variable name, we have a keyword called name. Name. Okay, so technically, where prompt is a way through which you just tell that I have one variable with the name called DVD dir, but I don't know the value. I don't know value. So what I want, whenever we run the playbook, you ask me as input as a value. And whatever value I put in from my keyboard as a prompt, you will apply here. So what I mean by this, let me run this code. Now this time what do you see, guys, here? Now they are waiting for your value, right? So when you run the playbook, now they're waiting. They open your keyboard, this is called interactive. And they say, this is the one of the variable you have inside a playbook. And this guy is waiting, and I can say prompting for the value. Not apply the value, what I want to type here. Okay, if you notice here, what I'm typing here is not visible. So by default, whenever you create any variable prompt or interactive variable or input variable, whatever type, it is hidden. It is like a by default security. So normally this option we use a lot for the password. So you want to apply some password and provide some password to your playbook for something like for database. Okay, so this is the normal way we create a variable, because we can't put the password here so that anybody can read the password. So while applying the playbook, we can provide the password so that we can use it. Okay, so by default nature of the where prompt is, okay, whatever the value we type, it is hidden, it's not visible. I'm typing here, guys, but it's not visible. But if you want whatever type is visible, then there's one option they provide you here is called private equals to no. So by default value of private is yes, but you can change here, that's called private equals to no. So I can say for this particular variable, private equals to yes. So where prompt is option through which we are going to create one new variable or parameter with this name. Okay, and whatever value we type in the command prompt, it won't be private, it will be visible when I type on my console. Okay, so when I run this, again same value come up, and now we are typing. It is, it should visible. It's not visible. Why? So what might I say? Sorry, private equals to by default yes. Sorry, I'm so sorry. By default is private yes, means I want private. I say yes, but private no means I don't want it to be private. It should be visible. It should be public. You do private no. Now it is visible. Okay. And one more thing is Bison normally as a developer, wherever you write the playbook or write code, we normally gives variable with something like this name, DVD, DIR, or D or MyD, something like this. Okay, but for the user who are going to use this playbook, they might not be comfortable the name with this kind of names. So for them, we can give some user-friendly name. So when they prompt, you can prompt a very common name and say this is the folder where you're going to mount the DVD. Okay, so how to change this kind of name? So here we can give a keyword called prompt. Okay, so prompt. So I can say here enter DVD mount point. That's all. So variable name is internally in the playbook is DVD dir, but when somebody run this playbook, this is the message they will see in the command line. Okay. So enter DVD mount point. So I say DVD 7. That's all. So slash DVD 7 is the value they store in the variable, whatever variable I use internally, and accordingly my playbook has been changed. been changed. So guys, this is a way to create the variables. Okay, and it's very common practice and very very common practice to use variables, right? Because as a good practice as a Ansible developer, we have to create a code once, and I'll share my code in my GitHub or some other location to some other people, to my other team. They will use my code, but I want to give my code to be very much dynamic. So whenever they run the code, they will ask them, do you want for this server the port number to be changed, document root to be changed, DVD mount to be changed, or you have different URL where you have the YAML location? Just type the URL here. Okay, so they will put their environment, their setup, and accordingly, whatever the type here, the setup will be configured. So it's always good practice to have this kind of code to be written. Okay, this is one thing. Now in this code, guys, I have one small issue. The issue we have here is right now this code is working great. There's no challenge. My web server is configured on IP address 1174. Where is 174? So there's no challenge. Website is working good. Right, none of the biggest challenge we are facing here. But challenge we have here is, you know what, if I add one more server, so if I launch one more server here and try to apply the same code in this server, okay, it will fail. Okay, now yesterday I show you the same code when I apply in one more node, was working great, no challenge. But today, when I apply this code in the new server or new managed node, it will fail. Okay, so why is fail? We will discuss in a minute. Okay, so technically what I'm trying to do here, right? Till now my setup is something like this. I have one controller node. I have one managed node having the IP 174. Okay, and the playbook that I written here now is a little bit parameterized, dynamic. Plus, they also have options to customize my web server. Okay, and when I apply this code on IP 174, okay, this system has been configured, right? And it is working fine. I can test here. It's working fine from my client. I can test it. Okay, and after I tested my code, I feel confident that now my code is working great. Now I can use my code to deploy other server or to configure other server. Let's say an IP2, IP1. But same code when I try to apply here and try to apply here, it should work. But let's see, it will work or not. But according to me, it will fail. Okay. So this is a new node come up. Okay, and the IP of new node is 120. So this is the one of the new node come up is 120. And if you apply the code here, you to update your inventory. That's only for once. So I'll go to my controller node and update new IP over here. It's called 120. Save. And very quickly, I always prefer to check the ping with the new IP. So new IP is working great. There's no issue in the connectivity. Let me now try to apply my code. Ansible playbook with this code. Okay, but before I apply this code, let me check. Does in IP 120 port number 8080 okay, website working or not? Now, if you see here, it is keep on connecting, and finally you will see it is not working. It's not yet configured. Or we can also check by this with nested command. Nested, can you tell me, does here in this IP 120 port number 8080 working? It's not working. So that is the reason, guys, I would like to use my Ansible playbook. And now if I apply the Ansible playbook, it will go all the IP 174, 120. Here they're asking me for DVD folder. Let's say it's DVD 5. So they're applying the playbook on all the IPs. See here 120, sending both the IPs they're applying. And 120 they are configuring for us. That's nice. So finally, guys, the motto is not only about the configuration. Maybe here, according to Ansible, it look like very clean, very clear. Might not be something feel, might not. But intention is I want my IP 120 to be configured. Let's see, it is configured or it's failed. So there's nothing issue in the terms of starting services also, and firewall also. So it look like everything is working great. So technically, what I'm talking about here is, as Ansible perspective, everything is working good. Okay, but final, if you try to test your website, is is guys coming the older websites here? New website is not coming. Okay, so again I'm repeating, guys, new website is not coming, right? The older website is coming. Okay, and today's the new website was this one, right? So what I was expecting this website, this one. So today I deployed the website with the content called this is new website. So that's what I wanted. Okay, but they are showing me the oldest content. Means technically, if I go to IP 120, 120, they are showing me the content from the older folder that I configured yesterday. But today I have changed my configuration folder to whatever name, I think Vimal. So they're not showing the content from the newest folder. Okay. So, so technically what I'm trying to tell you here is, okay, according to Ansible, they deploy my code. And guys, this is one of the dangerous thing. If you try to think, right? If when you write the code, if code runs successful, and if the code runs successful, it look like everything is good. But that is always the danger thing. Why is danger? Because according to developer, or according to us, right, technical guys, we think everything's good, but there might be possibility code run process successful, but what exactly we want to achieve is not there. Okay, and there the role of testing tools come in play. So testing tools are the one who will check actually the behavior, what exactly we would like to achieve. So again, this training is not about the testing testing tool, but yeah, by chance those guys who are into the earth training, we will discuss a lot of thing about the testing. That's a different point. But technically, what I'm trying to tell you here is okay, I was expecting to deploy this web page in IP120, but they are showing me the yesterday day page. Okay, and according to Ansible, everything's good. So Ansible say, now what you are asking me, we have changed everything for you. So from my side, everything good. There's no challenge in the code. Everything is working great. Okay, but but when I, as a client, when I try to open the website or try to test my website, it was still showing me the old website. Okay, so what is the challenge? Why we are getting this issue? Okay, so for this guys, there's a half an hour class on this, but I won't guys. I'm not giving the answer right now. So what I'm going to do, I'll share this code to you, and I try you figure out, okay, what is the challenge in this code we have? Why they are showing me the older website? Why in this new IP? Yeah, if you go to IP 174, the first one, they are showing the new website. See, yeah, they're showing the new website. But any other components that you keep on adding, or any other node you keep on adding, they will show you, either they won't show you the page or either they show you the older page. So why this is this kind of behavior we are facing here? Okay, so I just want guys, you just try to figure out. I'll share this code to you. But to solve this challenge, we have to add one more new concepts on the Ansible. Very interesting concept, very powerful concept, and this concept will gonna help you to understand some more internals about the Ansible. Okay, and again, I'm repeating. If you want to configure something, okay, you should know about that particular tool or the technology. Here we are configuring Apache web server. If you don't know anything about Apache, it is impossible to configure it. Ansible only help you to automate. Plus Ansible help you that without knowing the command, I will do the thing for you. But you should know the concepts. Okay, that is the again same thing I'm repeating for you. Okay, so that's all guys. I just want to keep this class still here. Okay, still here. I want you just use try to debug this code, try to figure out why new website is not able to see new content. Okay, but yeah, apart from this, if you see this is a new website, if you try to see the port number 8080 is running or not, so port number 8080 is also there. Just try to check what challenge we have, which part we are missing over here. They're not able to show you the new content. Okay, so guys, again I'm repeating today's class or yesterday class is very important. Try to revise. I share all the code to you. Okay, tomorrow class we are going to start how to set up the load balancer. And guys, this time I'm going to take this training a very different level. So after load balancer, we will apply the reverse proxy. After reverse proxy, if you want, I will also show you how to apply caching server like Redis. We'll go to all the advanced level, right? Even though those are not a part of at all this Red Hat training, but I will take this training at that very different level. But only suggestion is, if you want to really see the actual the bigger real environment, keep on practice till here. Otherwise, next class would be not be beneficial for you because you don't know the core concept, right? So that is my main point over here. So that's all guys for today. Any queries if you have till now, you guys can ask me. So why don't we add the hyphen before the private keyword? because guys, somebody asked me this part. So if you see input, so where input is a list and this is the one value of the list. Okay, so where input, so where prompt is a one key, this is the one value, this is the second value. It is something like, task, right? So when you see the task, right, so in the task, this is the main name and this is their arguments. Okay, so in the argument, guys, we never put the hyphen. Similarly, guys, you can think in this way. These are the arguments. So we don't put hyphen on the top of argument. We give the hyphen per value of this prompt or of this key. Okay. So, but yeah, it come with practice, guys. If you practice multiple examples, you comfortable with this point. Yes, Mohammed, you are right. What you are giving the answer over here, you're absolutely right. But I want you just try to apply. So what you said, just try to update with the Ansible code and see how it work. But what you're saying is absolutely right. Yes, Rita Brata, you also right. What you answer you given to me about this challenge. Okay, but I want guys anybody who got the answer. Why my new website is not going to show me the new content? If anybody by chance get this answer, I believe most of the guys will get it right. I want just try to update something in the Ansible code so that you can you will achieve what exactly you want to achieve here. And what I want to achieve, if I launch 10 different server, all the server will show me the new web pages. Okay. So I want my code to be this what called scalable. Okay. So any new server come up, it will update all the servers. Right now it's not working for us. So I'm basically speaking some other questions over here. Yes, again, Dharmendra, I will share the code, guys. So yesterday, also I shared my code. Normally, I share the guys' code over here in my doc. So I copy paste here. So I don't upload the file. I copy paste the code here, so you can see the code, type and run it. It's also good for you guys to practice, right? If you type, it will give you extra practice. Yes, Karthik, you are also right. Apache Tomcat, Deep, we will discuss maybe in the future. You can think it is like an app server. If you have any Java application, you want to deploy the Java application, then normally Tomcat is the one of the server we used. No, yes, answer Saket, you can write multiple IPs in the virtual host, but depend those IPs should be belongs to your server. If one server has 10 IPs or one VM has a 10 IP, you can put all the 10 IP in your virtual host. Then it will work. Nishant, the question that you are right is why we have to use hyphen. So you can think in simple way. Whenever you have the arguments, okay, or the parameters, you don't use hyphen. Okay. So for example, in this example, okay, destination content is the argument of the copy, or name instead is the parameter of the package. So we don't use the hyphen here. Hyphen is just a way to tell that the task is the one main key, and this key has a one value. This is entire second value. This is entire third value. So one single value we denote with the hyphen. Or you can think in this way: task is one list, and this is one of the value of the list. This is one of the item of the list. This is one of the item of the list. But don't worry, guys. After 2 or 3 days, I can keep on showing this code. You become comfortable with this hyphen. So don't worry more about the hyphen. How does the ISO file get mounted with a multi VM? No, Rahul, by chance, guys, I have tested my ISO file in all the VMs. So physically, my ISO file is attached to all the VM. That is the reason they are mounted. Otherwise, it's not possible. So, but you see, guys, after 3 4 days, your setup will be like crazy, right? It implement almost all the real kind of multiple servers, right? And it become one complete great project, and everything to be deployed with Ansible. And then we'll start applying with Dockers and cloud and multiple things we will apply on the code. But my initial days focus would be keep on adding new concepts. So today I explain you like variables. So how to configure router and switches? Pankaj, in my upcoming class, when I explain you some of the concept, how to integrate Ansible with other technology like cloud, that will give you the high level idea how to configure router and the switches also. Okay, maybe in this training I can't take the configure router switcher, but you'll get the high level idea that how we can use Ansible with a router and switches also. Ayush, if you want to boot the VM in CLI, reboot command you can use. So your success mantra. um, it is compulsory to have the control node. I read it. No, because your control node would be anything. And good thing is because Ansible is a Python module, so you can make your control node as a Windows also. Okay, or at a one point in time you can make hundreds of computers as a control node. So not you don't have to require only one as a control node. You can make as much as control node you want. So Mohammed Afreed, what you ask me, just give me 5 6 days. About I think you're asking me something about firewall D module. After 5 6 days, there's some example come up about the Ubuntu. You will figure out if you have facing any challenge, you will figure out how to solve that challenge. So just give me some time. Yes, Gyan, both are right. What you write is right, but I suggest after the curly braces, you give at least one space because some of the Ansible version doesn't support. Okay, so after double curly brace, give one space. After variable, again give one space. Then curly braces close. No, Nitin, Apache conf file is not cache sensitive. Apache conf file you can go for small case and double quotes, capital case, both are right. Why don't we use gedit? Panda is depend upon choice. I am normally very much comfortable with VIM, but you can use gedit also editor if you are comfortable. But gedit doesn't work on CLI, gedit, so VIM is always preferable. So I'm guys trying to pick up other questions over here. Same questions repeating multiple times. So just give me a minute. Yes, Seek, you are right. Again, what answer you given me? And guys, by again, I'm repeating. By chance, if you got the answers that you will get, I want you update your playbook and try to solve the challenge we are facing today. Okay, the new site will come up. It will come up with a new content. Yes, yes, Ravi. I always prefer this. Even though anybody who was with me in my other Ansible training, recently I completed, you will see same topic I'm taking here, but my approach, the way I'm delivering the content is very different, right? And maybe a lot of new content you're actually getting here. So with actually, I'm not able to check my LinkedIn from last couple of 20 days. Just give me some few more days. I'm I'm Right now, I'm not focusing more. So after some days, I will check your messages. Then I'll definitely reply you guys. So I think, guys, there's a lot of questions over here, but most of the answers I have given to you. Other questions, guys, maybe a day after tomorrow or tomorrow class will be given to you. But I suggest try to solve this challenge what we are facing right now. Tomorrow I'll give you the answer with the new concepts, guys. So I just want to conclude today's class. See you guys tomorrow at same time 9:15 and with some more new core concepts of the Ansible. Bye. Good and good night. Bye. Take care. See you.